So we're here to talk about the asset management locker, which is quite often used in distribution and logistics centres. So let's talk about the pain points that customers currently have. At the start of the shift, quite often you have all the employees come, they all queue, waiting to get their handheld device to go and do their job. They queue at the start of the day, and then likewise they queue again at the end of the day. Often people want to finish on time at the end of the day, so they end up clocking off 20 minutes, half an hour earlier in order to avoid the queue to hand their device back. In some instances where these devices aren't tracked, people just leave a damaged device lying around rather than having to go through the pain of saying that they've damaged the device and extra paperwork that may cause. So none of that is currently tracked for the customers. So how does the locker address those pain points? It is an automated process, so users can just come and access the items and return the items whenever suits them without that personal intervention. So when I come into my shift in the morning and I want to access an item, I simply come to the machine and enter my PIN number. If users have got ID cards or clock-in cards they want to use to access the machines, we can do that by installing a reader on the machine. I enter my PIN number, which is unique to me, and then it gives me the option. I can check out or check in an item, are basically my options on here. So I can take out an item, which is what I want to do at the start of my shift. It will then prompt me on here for the asset code. That can be set up as well for the asset type. So if you have two types of assets in there, a handheld device and a printer, you can select which of those items you want to take by pressing 1 or 2. For myself, I want to take a specific asset, so I typed in the asset ID. I then open the door that's illuminated. I take my asset and I can go and use this for my day's work. So immediately within the software, it's tracked as to who has accessed that item. Then, when I finish my day's work, I come to return the asset. Now generally, anything like this has got a barcode serialised on it. We can use that barcode for them to return the items by having a barcode scanner on the machine, where they will scan that barcode and it automatically knows what the item is. For myself, I need to check it back in using the asset ID I used earlier. So if I go to check the item in, it will then prompt me. These can be edited to suit whatever the asset is. We try and keep it as simple as we can. So for myself, I have, is it ready for reuse or is it damaged? Those are my two options. As soon as I put that it's damaged, it will lock that down, give supervisor access to come and release this and get it fixed. But it doesn't add any delays to anyone returning their item. For myself, it's ready for reuse. So a door illuminates, I open the locker door, put the item back and close it. So that's as quick as it is. It takes seconds as opposed to minutes, which was how it was on the previous process. You can also have charging ports within the locker. So if the asset needs to be recharged for a certain amount of time, you can control that through the locker to ensure that all users are taking a fully charged device. You can also use the locker for any peripheral items that you may want the users to take. For example, safety glasses, high-vis vest, anything along those lines. So the outcome of using for the locker is an easy process, which means no queuing, more productivity, more picks per hour, better control and visibility of the assets and tracking who has used what and when, secure storage for the devices when they're not in use and knowing where they are, and it's contactless, so there's no need for that face-to-face interaction. This was a quick look at our Ricoh asset management locker. We have focused on the warehouse and distribution, however this can be used for a multitude of customers. And if you want to know more, reach out to either myself or any other member of the team and we'll help you find the right solution for your customers.